Hey, what is up guys? My name is Griefdrums and today we are going to be taking a look at some map tips and tricks for the map Consulate on Rainbow Six Siege. If you already know these tips and tricks, that's awesome. If not, hopefully these will help up your game. If you know any other tips that I've missed in this, make sure to let me know in the comments below. The first one we're going to look at is the drone hole just next to the front door. This is really cheeky and it gives you an awesome line of sight all the way down the hallway in the basement and also into the kitchen area downstairs. I barely ever see people using this for some reason. The second one's in the piano room. Over in the corner there's a tipped over PA speaker that's really easy to jump up onto, and you can hide here and it gives you a good view of the room. But obviously we can go one better than that. By turning to the left and up onto the flag, you can put your drone even higher and further out of eyesight. If you're attacking the basement and you're worried about roamers on the stairway, as you come in through this door here, there's a couple of vending machines up at the top of the stairs halfway. By jumping up onto this over on the left hand side, it gives you enough height to be able to jump up on top of the vending machine. This allows you a line of sight down the stairs, up the stairs and into the piano room. While we're on the theme of roamers, if you're in the spiral staircase, by jumping over onto the statue, you get a good view of the floor above and below. To keep an eye out on the hallway of the top floor, by coming over to the vending machines on the left, jumping up onto the water fountain and up on top, you can see all the way down to the far end. In the reception area with all the chairs, you can jump up into the plants, which is obviously well known, but you can also scan for enemies without having to see them. This does give away your position, but you are fairly well hidden in the plants. If you do want to see, you can actually jump up from the plants onto the speakers. This does expose you a little bit more, but gives you a better view of the room. Alternatively, you can drive up this flag to the very top. However, you are very exposed here and you do stand out quite a bit. This does give you a really good view of the room, but it's really likely that you're going to get taken out quickly. In the basement is really where it's at for the drones. By coming up on top of the van, all these white pipes here. Now, on most maps, these are a godsend because you can jump up on top of them and you can drive all over the top of the room. By moving into this far corner over here, you do get a good view of the room. However, you can't see down into the corner where people are hiding. Instead, by moving all the way over to this section above the shelving, you can see that corner and you can also see the rest of the room. In the kitchen area behind the garage, there are very often people hiding trying to shoot through murder holes. By jumping up onto the kitchen counter and then moving up onto the handheld dispenser, you can then get on top of the fridge to your right, which gives a good view of the room, but because you can't see much behind the tables without exposing too much of the drone, you can then jump over onto the shelves over on the right hand side of you. This gives you a good view behind the tables and down the corridor. In the archives, in the server area, you can get on top of pretty much everything. This gives a really good view of the room, and if there are a couple of drones over here, you can see all sorts of angles. By jumping over into the corner, you'll be able to check out if anyone is hiding up in the servers. This can provide your team with so much information as to whether they can move down that hallway behind or not. There are other areas within this server bit that you can get on top of. You are quite honestly limited only by your creativity. In the archives, there's a cupboard over on the left of the entrance. It's the one with the roof hatch in it. By jumping up on top of this boiler system or whatever it is, you can then jump up on top of this metal bracket on the wall, which allows you to check out if anyone's in there. In the office area upstairs, over to the right hand side, you can jump up into this plant here. This gives you an insane view of the room, but as per usual, we can go one better. You can jump up on top of this ceiling fan, giving you an insane view of the room, and who the hell is going to spot you up here? The final drone tip I'm going to give is for this office, the console office. Now this is a really difficult room to leave your drone in, so by coming over into this corner and hiding behind this box, you are really difficult to spot. Now I know that this doesn't give you a good view of the room, however, because of where the drone is located, they can barely see it and the defenders can't really get to you. They can't get to you from either side. This then provides you the opportunity to come back to this drone later on during the game to have a quick check of where the enemy are. This next tip is starting to become more well known. If you're defending the console office and you reinforce this wall over here, on the other side is the staircase. Now the biggest problem with reinforcing this is the fact that the top can still be taken out. Anyone attacking from the skylight above can shoot this out. If they've got ash, it makes it even easier. This automatically cuts a lot of the room off for the defenders, meaning that they can't go there without getting shot. Obviously you can't enter from this way, however, you get a good line of sight into the room and one that can do a lot of damage to the defending team. At the opposite end of the upstairs floor, by shooting the floor with a shotgun or opening it up with a nitro, This gives an incredible line of sight down into the entrance. If you're defending the room below, they're not going to expect to see you here, and as soon as that door opens, that is your cue to unleash hell. Any attackers coming through here aren't going to be looking up. They're not going to expect to see this at all. Even if you're not defending this room, if anyone decides to enter the building from this way, they're going to get a really nasty surprise. When attempting to move down these stairs into the basement, there's very often someone hiding in this cupboard just here. This usually means they've got the drop on you and isn't really a firefight you want to stay and engage in. As they're lying here, they've got a good line of sight up onto the stairwell, so as a result, it's probably better for you to just break contact. By coming up to the floor above, this is a room where the hostage is normally kept. By shooting down through the floor in front of this second cabinet here, you are directly above them and can get the kill, or at least injure them. When attacking the basement, the piano room upstairs, you can actually breach the floor, or at least the majority of it. By doing it inside the doorway just here, this gives you a dirty view into the room because you can look down at the bottom of the stairs to see if anyone's hiding there waiting for people. This one is one you may already know, but the circular section inside the entrance you can actually shoot through, which can allow you to look at the front door without exposing too much of yourself. Here's one that I personally like to use quite a lot. If you're defending the basement, this wall next to the door along the alleyway section is actually breachable. By pushing out and reinforcing this outer wall, you're actually forcing the enemy to have to move through the doorway. This is then funneling them to where you want them to be. I very often put a shield just here and make a murder hole here. This allows me a line of sight onto them before they can see me. I very often play as characters like Doc on this map. By putting a shield down myself, I can get someone else to play as Frost and put a frost trap just behind it. This cuts off that entire way. The final tip for this video is if the defenders are hunkering down in the basement or the garage, there's often someone sitting in that corner just there. This is probably because it feels quite safe, but in reality for the attacking team, this can be a godsend. As you can see here, the floor is breachable, so if you come in through this window and either breach or shoot through the floor, you are going to be upsetting someone. This is most likely going to force them out to somewhere else in the garage where they're exposed to the people coming in through the garage doors. Hopefully these tips and tricks will help you out if you didn't already know them, and fingers crossed they will assist in bagging you a hell of a lot more kills. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know in the comments below and make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe as the rest of the maps are on their way. You can vote for which map you'd like to see next by clicking on this little button at the top. And if there's any tips that I've left out that you know about on this map, as I said before, make sure to let me know in the comments below as I love learning more about this game. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time guys, I've been Griefdrums.